We're back now at 8:10, and this morning on Parenting Today, monitoring your kids online. You want them to have their privacy, but you need to keep them safe as well. So where do you draw the line? We went to Mahwah, New Jersey, where one police chief is helping parents out. Concerned about what her kids were doing online, especially on social networking sites.
A couple of times, one of my children came to me and said, somebody wants to be my friend that I don't know. We didn't grow up with all this technology, and so I wanted to make sure that they were safe.
She's not alone. According to a Common Sense Media study, 54% of teens admit to risky online behavior, and 40% admit they gave out personal information on sites despite knowing they shouldn't. One police chief has taken an aggressive approach to teaching parents the dangers of the internet.
Parents have to get their heads out of the sand. It's not a matter of a right of a child to have privacy. It's a legal responsibility for the parents to ensure the safety of their children.
His solution? Teach parents that they have to keep tabs on their kids, especially online, even if it means snooping on their children with computer spyware.
We don't consider it spyware. We consider it parenting monitoring software.
Carolyn followed Chief Batelli's advice, installing monitoring software on the family computer. And now she's able to keep track of her kids' activity online.
It was just to help me have an extra pair of eyes to make sure that they were being safe while using the internet.
While this solution has worked for Carolyn and her family, reaction in the Mahwah community to Chief Batelli's seminars has been mixed.
What has really surprised us is a number of parents who have approached us, some with a certain degree of anger, that say, how can you get up there and tell parents to spy on their children?
Valerie Zanatius is a mother of two teens who keeps tabs on her kids, but who has not yet installed software on the computer.
I do have my son's passwords, and I'm one of his friends on Facebook, so I do check his wall. I think my daughter is at an age where I'm going to need to start doing more. I think it's important to monitor what your child's activity is on the internet.
A first step in keeping kids safe.
Software isn't going to resolve everything. Communication isn't going to resolve anything. Put the two together in a family environment with a good support group, and we think you raise successful children.
And Carolyn agrees.
We would do anything we can to make our children safe. And I think, especially with the internet, they're not always going to realize when they're in an unsafe situation.
Donna Rice Hughes is president of Enough is Enough and executive producer of the Internet Safety 101 program. Michelle Borba is an educational psychologist and a Today contributor. Ladies, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
That police chief has another way of putting it. He says you wouldn't let your kids put a lock on their bedroom door at home and not let you in ever. Why would you let them lock you out of the computer? You agree with the spyware idea?
I agree that parents have got to be the first line of defense, which means they need to put non-technical measures in place to protect their kids, like keeping ongoing communications open, supervising, but they need the tools, the filters, the monitors, because kids have easy access to all the good and all the bad.
Coming up with an agreement between parents and kids is a great idea, but if you can't reach that agreement, do you spy on your kids?
Our philosophy is to use the tools, but to let your children know why. Why filters? Because there's stuff that can come in that they don't want to see and that you as a parent don't want them to see. Monitors actually monitor outgoing and incoming communications. Okay. Let your kids know because you want to protect them.
And I think that's there's no brainer here. Yes, you should be monitoring, but I think what we're forgetting to do is the upfront, I will be monitoring, therefore it's not spying.
Which is a deterrent in itself.
It is.
I'm watching.
Yes. You'll also look at 90% of kids say that once you set the rules, they're less likely to do all of that surfing, and they know you're being watched. Beyond that, you can also do a little things called the walk by. I'm walking by, and if I happen to glance and notice that you are looking like you're covering things up, we will pull the plug.
Yeah, what's the consequence? Is this one strike and you're out? In other words, you tell your kids where they can and can't go online, what they can and can't share. If they violate that law, is the computer gone?
Well, you can shrink their privileges until they show that they can be accountable, and then you can give them back their privileges. But if you set the appropriate rules and tools, and that's what we call them, and you're on top of it on an ongoing basis, then it makes it much easier to be a cyber parent.
Let me play 16-year-old for a second, or 15-year-old, and you're my mom. Mom, you don't trust me. What does that say about our relationship?
Honey bun, this is what we're going to do. I'm the mom, and I'm being a responsible parent.
That's right.
And what you're going to do is you're going to verify your responsibility and your trust. Be careful not to pull too much of that computer away, because we also know if we are too stringent, our kids don't come and talk to us. There's a fine balance between those two. But you can also do a little thing like all your passwords and your accounts, we're going to do them for a while with us until you can finally do it on your own.
Isn't it a good idea to use real-world examples? I think we covered a story on this show about a young girl had a boyfriend. She sent him a nude photo of herself.
Yes.
And then he shared it with just about everyone. I mean, these are adult consequences.
Yes. And it's also impacting not only now, but their future, but their job security. We're looking at college administration looking on to see whether or not what they've posted in life. So, we really have to be careful on what we post on those lines.
Last word, Donna.
Yeah, it's just important that parents recognize that they can be a great parent, but they've got to be a good cyber parent. And we actually created a program to help them. And you can find out more about that at Internet Safety 101. But we've got lots of real stories, video vignettes, and everything. And parents are using these to instruct their kids and recognizing that, you know what, my kid's not immune. And as the parent, they have to say, look, the buck stops with me. As long as I'm your parent, this is what I need to do.
Donna Rice Hughes and Michelle Borba. Ladies, thanks very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.